Well, good morning, everybody, on this Monday, January the 30th. I'm Chris Allen here on the Sam channel, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace. If you haven't seen my post yet, I have COVID. Don't worry, it won't come through the microphone or the camera. You're safe on the internet. Um, but I'm not going to the radio station. I'm not going to Sam this morning, or really any this week. I'm going to take the week and just kick back, unexpected vacation, if you will, sick days off. I am running just a little bit of a fever, got some throat irritation, sinus irritation, but my doctor confirms everything. It's like, well, as you know, Sheila had it the last week, and I thought, I'm doing everything I can to stave off, hopefully getting it myself, but you know how these things work. So here I am with COVID. So second time. Last time I had it was what, 2020? I believe, when a lot of other people had it. I mean, overall, I don't feel like really that bad. I feel like I should be at work, really. And I know everybody's like, shh, don't say that. But I mean, you know how much I love being there and doing the show and all of that. It's like, nope, I got to quarantine. I got to self quarantine here. And it's, for me, that's hard to do because I love going to the station. I love playing the music, and I love it. When I feel like it, I have the capability right here at home. This is my home studio, as you know, and I have the capability here and the software and all the electronics, and I can do my show from here. It won't be the same that you normally hear, but I may attempt to do that at certain times when I feel like my throat can handle it. I've really have been downing the liquids this morning: coffee, water, sometimes tea, sometimes a cold drink or whatever. And it's just, I'm trying to keep this from getting worse. Uh, my oxygen levels are fine. I can see them kind of tapering off a little bit. So, like I said, just the low grade fever and the overall just kind of, that's how I can tell. I haven't lost sense of smell or taste, but the medicine that they have me on is the same thing they gave Sheila. It has an aftertaste that doesn't go away, and it's terrible, but it works. So that's why I'm able to do this, and plus we've got this kind of icy weather coming in for tonight and tomorrow morning, and I don't want to miss that, and I want to keep you guys. It gives me something to do. Okay. Let's just put it that way. Gives me something to do. So here we go. I'll try not to talk too long because I can tell my throat is still trying to dry out. But here's a look at the radar this morning as of 5:30 as I record this podcast. You can see some light rain showers and drizzle over the Cumberland Plateau, but that's it. We do have a cold front that is going to come in today from our northwest, and it is going to set the stage for the colder air coming in, which is going to undercut more moisture coming in from the southwest. And I'll show you that in just a minute. But first, let's get to the 10-day blender and see what's cooking there. Because these temperatures will have a lot to do with, where we go from here. So, as you can see, we've got 46 today for a high, and then we drop into the 30s tomorrow, then head back into the low to mid 40s middle of the week. Then we do another drop into the upper 30s. But here's a big warming trend that is going to take place. And yes, I have a telestrator now, so you're going to see me drawing all kinds of lines and stuff to draw attention. I just got to get used to drawing things on this I have to go slower. There we go. Look at that warming trend this next weekend, first weekend of February into the beginning of next week, upper 40s, low to mid 50s. So that will be nice. But in the meantime, we're going to drop from really the low 50s today down to 29 tonight and early tomorrow morning. And that's critical because that temperature change as that front comes through today, it's going to establish the colder air, cold enough, as you see there, to make this tricky for tomorrow morning. And tricky in a way that we might have to deal with some icy weather in the morning. It's doesn't look like it's going to be an ice storm situation, but it could be slick enough tomorrow morning. Bridges and overpasses would freeze first, and then maybe some back roads, less traveled roads, pavement, sidewalks, maybe porches could have a slick spot on it tomorrow morning. So just keep that in mind. That's going to be the critical time, and that may not be the only time that we're looking at this coming week for that. All right, let's take a look at Kentucky mesonet temperatures as of 5:30. We have 40s to the east, and you can see now exactly where the cold front is. Let me get my little handy drawer here. You can see the colder temperatures back to the west of us, and the front is right about like that. And so from Bowling Green east, we got nice, mild, mid 40s, but behind the front, now we're starting to see some near freezing temperatures back along the Ohio River. And so there will be places like Cairo, Illinois, down to Mount Vernon, Illinois, over to the Wabash River in Indiana, and maybe even some of these northwestern Kentucky counties may start to see some freezing even this morning around the area. So that's got to be watched because that's going to be a problem uh, even this morning, but not around here, not in southern Kentucky. We're okay. We're not going to see any of that stuff this morning. Well, what about what's coming? What about all of this nasty weather? So let me give you the big picture setup here with some of the new maps. Now, this is showing the entire United States. Okay. So just to help you find your bearings here. And what we're looking at is winds and pressure. Okay. So I'll go into this is all going to press. Here is right now, we've got big high pressure setting. Well, it actually goes like this clockwise, setting right over Nebraska this morning. And you can see its influence is right there all the way over into Kentucky, which is here. All right. So we've got a setup of systems in the Gulf of Mexico. We've got a Pacific flow. There's a low pressure there around Los Angeles. But this is an Arctic high that is going to establish the colder air that's coming in today. We're at our warmest right now. Let's see, 46 to 49. The temperature right now is of 5:30, but then the temperatures are going to start to fall as this system comes a little further east. And I'm putting it into motion here so you can see how this thing is going to work. We've got the colder air trying to work its way in. As you see around this high pressure, it just keeps moving southward and rotating the big dome of high pressure. So all of this establishes the much colder air during the day today and even into tonight. And then here we go, midnight tonight, temperatures dropping into the 20s, and it goes far south. It goes down. Look at this. Memphis is at 32, and they'll have some rain going on, but it'll be freezing rain going to sleet to freezing rain, and an ice storm situation will be setting up down here around Memphis and even all the way back to Dallas for tonight and tomorrow as that colder air is established over that region. So we're not the only ones that's going to be dealing with this. There's going to be some places further south that it's like, what's going on here? This is something we're not used to. Here we are into Tuesday morning, and wow, high pressure sitting right over us, but then the moisture will catch up with us. Overrunning moisture from the Gulf of Mexico will be feeding into the area, and that's the problem. You've got moisture coming in from the south, and then you've got all this cold air coming in from the north, and they're going to meet right over this area, and that's the problem with this kind of setup, because the the moisture is going to undercut. Um, well, actually, the cold air is going to undercut the warm, moist air from the south, and that's why we've got this setup coming that's going to be icy. And again, I'm not looking at, nor is the Weather Service calling for a situation where it's going to be an ice storm for us, maybe down around the Memphis area. It's going to be that, parts of West Tennessee. But here, we're just talking about a layer of ice on most of the roads and your vehicles and things like that by tomorrow morning. In fact, here is what they've put out for this event. And as you can see, light accumulations of ice tonight, Tuesday morning. There could be that light wintry mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain, freezing drizzle late tonight through early tomorrow morning. And as it says here, underline, a major ice storm is not expected. So there may be some slick roads and things like that, but they're saying the best chance for minor ice accumulations will be around Bowling Green to Hodgenville to Richmond, Kentucky. So on the map here, we're looking at this sort of darker shade of yellow right in here. That's going to be where some of the best icing is going to take place. And we're in that particular area, about 1/10 of an inch of ice. That's going to be a thin layer, but the problem is temperatures will be cold enough to establish that layer of ice. And then you could even have some snow on top of it, like a light dusting of snow where you pick up those snowflakes. But the profile of the thermals and the profile of the atmosphere is such that it's going to be just right on the edge, right on the fence of being rain to freezing rain. It'll come down as rain, but then freeze on contact. And that's the issue here. And as you can see, the confidence is in the medium category for this. All right, let's take a look at, we do have a winter weather advisory that's in effect late tonight through early tomorrow for all of the southern Kentucky area, including Bowling Green. The counties that it doesn't take in is far to the southeast over the Cumberland Plateau. So this is where we could see a little mix of everything, but mostly it looks like it's going to be freezing rain and sleet. And again, the confidence meter showing medium. Ice storm warning does not take in any of our counties until you go into West Tennessee. Okay. Again, those are the places that are going to find the worst of this as it moves on through. So hopefully that gives you a better look at how this is all going to shape up. How is the precipitation going to roll in, or when? Excuse me, as I'm trying to make all this happen. Let's take a look at the future radar, and we'll show what's going on right now. It is kind of hard to speak after a few minutes. I'll give you that. So here we go with the future precipitation. As you can see, the winds, that's not what I wanted. I'm getting used to this telestrator now. Here we go. So the winds you can see are coming in east of Bowling Green, they're coming in from the northeast. And then west of Bowling Green, they're coming from the north and west. So you can tell the cold front is just kind of right in here. And that's what's coming through to help set us up for the colder air that's coming as the day progresses. So you see right now, I'll put this into motion. The blue there indicating light rain and drizzle. We're at 49 here, but then you see we steadily drop. Here's noontime, 30s. We start to drop into the 30s even this afternoon. Here's 4, 5, 6 o'clock this evening. We start to see some areas of freezing rain and drizzle. That's the purple that you see. 7 o'clock this evening. Okay. So we're at 35, which means mostly we're still going to be light rain or even drizzle back to the west over to Crofton, Hopkinsville, Central City, Madisonville. That's where they're going to start to see probably some sleet and freezing rain beginning to mix in. Then here we go after dark on into the nighttime. Tonight we're dropping 34. We keep dropping, and look at this. So we're just right on at Russellville, Adairville, Morgantown drops to freezing. This is 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we drop to 32. Litchfield, that brown indicating you could see some sleet and snow mix or freezing rain to some snow mixed with sleet. And then all this purple shaded area west of Bowling Green is all freezing rain. So let's continue through tomorrow morning about the time you get ready to head to work. And it's pretty obvious. Here's 6 a.m. and everybody just about is under that dome of freezing rain and maybe some occasional sleet mixed in, while it's still light rain and drizzle over toward the Cumberland River into the Dale Hollow Lake area, into Lake Cumberland, further east. So let's continue through Tuesday morning, 7, 8, 9 a.m., and you start to see it tapering off. So it is mainly going to be there's noontime and it's all gone. But we're still at a temperature of 34 with the wind coming out of the north and northwest. This is what I was going to say is that, hey, here comes some more. This is Tuesday night into Wednesday. And look at that. There's a little bit of light snow on top of the freezing rain and sleet. Now, you may look at this and think this is going to be a huge mess, but the amounts of precipitation are not going to be that much. That's why the confidence meter is kind of on the border. And that's why we're not calling for ice storm and all this kind of stuff, because the amounts here are going to be light enough to where it just puts that coating on the road and on your vehicles. Not enough to cause a lot of power outages and the weight of the ice and all of that. And we're not talking that. This is going to be more of a nuisance thing, but if you're not careful, it can cause an accident if you're just driving along into Tuesday night, even into Wednesday morning. We could have a little bit of snow on top of some of that freezing rain and drizzle, and that could cause some issues with travel. Not only tonight and tomorrow morning, but again on Wednesday morning. Okay, so I just want you to know that, because it may be a problem for some of you. All right, let's get to the maps here before I run out of oxygen and throat. I've been doing a lot of coughing too, which is not fun. So here we go. The front's coming through right now, and with that little bit of light rain, we're just going to keep it light rain and drizzle. But this establishes that much colder air. Here it comes with the high pressure behind the front. And that's going to change this overrunning moisture coming up from the south. You see all this? That's coming our way, and that's why we're going to get freezing rain. It'll come down warm as rain because of all this moisture coming in, but then the cold air, denser, it's going to undercut some of that moisture coming in, and that's why we're going to see this change and this mix, and it will get a little icy as this is late tonight, early tomorrow morning. There you see it, all painted in as a mix, mostly freezing rain and sleet. And then here we go into Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. It's still there as we get these impulses that continue to bring the Gulf of Mexico moisture up. And a lot of this is Pacific moisture. A lot of this is moisture that just is feeding off the Baja of California and sending it our direction. Plus, you've got Gulf of Mexico moisture feeding into the area, undercut by the colder air. And this is the perfect setup for an icy situation. So even into Wednesday, we're going to have some issues here with all that. So let's advance into Thursday, still here with mainly rain then, because then we start to warm up. But there's another cold front that's dipping southward with another Arctic high pressure to the north of us, and that will push through. But by, I would say, Thursday night into Friday, this is all over for the weekend. It's just going to be a little chilly at first, then it begins to warm up a little more as we get into Saturday and Sunday, but at least the weather will be better by then. Okay, so that's the way it looks right now. Again, I won't be on the radio this morning, or except for my forecast. I'm going to record the forecast and push it out to Sam. I may try to do some radio breaks, part of my show from here. It won't be live, so it's not going to sound like it normally does when I'm there at the station. If I get the feeling better, fine. If I don't, if I start to feel worse, or my temperature goes up or whatever, or my throat, then I'm just going to let it do its thing. Okay, I'm just going to let it ride on autopilot, let the other guys handle it. Mr. Producer behind the scenes, he does not have it, so that's good. He can push the buttons, so that's what he's for. All right, you guys, have a great Monday. Thanks for watching. I went a little long, but I just want to make sure you guys understood what's coming, and that I'm okay. Sheila's much better. She's pretty much over it now. But it looks like I'm going to have to deal with this for the next few days. God bless you. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back here tomorrow morning.